Pat Whitehouse was one of the founder members of the Talyllyn Railway Preservation Society, which organised rail tours to the railway for its AGM each year. Interesting motive power was guaranteed, and in 1960, a pair of the Great Western's Dukedog 440s did the honours. The Railway Roundabout cameras were, naturally enough, on hand to record the train and the preparation of the locomotives at Shrewsbury's Great Western shed. These were the last double-frame locomotives on British railways, a relic of the Victorian era, although these engines were officially built as late as 1936. Double-frame construction was common on the Great Western Railway in the 19th century, partly as a result of the need to produce convertible locomotives, as the era of the broad gauge came to an end. Double-frame locomotives came to symbolise the Dean era, and the engines produced were among Britain's most elegant. The general-purpose version of Dean's design was a modestly dimensioned 440, which formed the Duke of Cornwall class. The transitional design was produced by Churchward with a modern tapered boiler on the original chassis, known as the Bulldog class. Both types had become obsolete by the 1930s, but some examples survived for use on lightly laid lines such as the Cambrian routes. The older Dukes were lighter in weight, but their chassis were wearing out, whilst the heavier Bulldogs were precluded from some lines because of their weight. In the cash-starved 30s, a new design could not make economic sense, so a classic compromise was made, with the lighter Duke boilers being put on the more robust Bulldog chassis. The resultant engines earned the nickname Dukedogs and survived internationalization. The Talyllyn special train used 2 of the last 3 surviving engines. Both were withdrawn later in the year. Another narrow-gauge railway made a junction with the Cambrian main line, where the train paused at Welshpool. The line was the Welshpool and Llanfair light railway, which is also preserved. The Cambrian main line is single for a large part of its length, and this train illustrates the method used for picking up the train token on the move. The signalman places it in the bracket attached to a large loop. Note how it's picked up by the second engine. It has to be the last engine in the section which carries the tablet. This could be a painful operation if the crew got it wrong. Talyllyn is at the top of a severe climb from both directions on the watershed of the Cambrian Mountains. Here the special was held in the loop to allow the passage of the premier train on the route, the Cambrian Coast Express. This was double-headed by the Dukedogs' effective replacements, British Railways Standard Class 4 460s. This station epitomizes the common practice of railways which avoided towns by naming stations with the word road added to the town's name. If you went to a road station, you knew you still had some way to go to get to the town. Here the train paused, and the late Oliver Velton, divisional superintendent at Shrewsbury, spoke to the crew. He was responsible for the Vale of Rydal's survival in BR hands, and had been a good friend to the preservationists, ensuring they had the special locomotives on the AGM trains. Both Pat and John beat the train to its destination and filmed its arrival. The train had run during the afternoon, as the AGM was held in the evening, starting at 7 p.m. However, there were other things to see before the AGM, and a special train ran on the Talyllyn for members. The engine was number 4 Edward Thomas, recently fitted with a Giesel ejector and chimney, which ruined its appearance. Pat joined the footplate crew on the second Dukedog as they took the empty stock forward to Barmouth. The Railway Roundabout team had built a special bracket to hold the cameras, which could be bolted to the cab's side. Cambrian main line followed the coast between Talyllyn and Fairbourne, climbing quite severely near Fiog. Here the line was carved into the mountainside and an avalanche shelter was provided at the summit. Whilst Pat travelled on the footplate, John had gone by road to the end of the sand spit opposite Barmouth and its famous bridge. It was this bridge, built entirely of timber, which enforced the weight restrictions on the Cambrian main line. In later years, it was attacked by marine termites and was nearly lost, but it stands to this day. At Barmouth, the engines were separated for watering. The coaches were to remain here for servicing, but there were no other facilities for the locomotives, which had to return to Machynlleth for this purpose. They ran tender first back to Barmouth Junction, so they could turn on the triangle there to run Smokebox first for the rest of the journey. The return train left Talyllyn at 11 p.m. and included sleepers in its formation. Note the single lamp on the centre of the buffer beam, denoting light engines.